Let me tell you an ancient tale from my homeland. This is the Feast of Bricriu. Who is the greatest amongst the Red Branch warriors? Which of the three high champions of Ulster? Who will take the champion's title at Owen Macha? Who among them will claim the champion's portion in the court of King Conchobar? The contest for the champion's portion continued. The Ulster folk now advised them that they'd better go for judgment to Cuchulain, the Red Hound. And the whole three of them agreed to do it. The Enchanted Ring Fort of Cuchulain. Next morning, the three heroes, Cuchulain, Conall, and Lebor, sets off to the Rath of Cuchulain, the Red Hound. They unyoked their chariots at the gate to the stronghold, afore they entered. Blathna, men's daughter, wife of Roí MacDaire, bade them a warm welcome. But on the night of their arrival, Cuchulain was away from home. He was on his oriental expedition into Scythian territory. But knowing they would come, he had advised his wife regarding the heroes. You see, from the age of 7 years, when he took up arms, until his death, Cuchulain had never reddened his sword with the blood of Erin, nor had he eaten the food of Ireland, for the land couldn't contain him, due to his reputation and rank, fury, strength, and courage. Well, his wife acted according to his wishes. The champions were bathed, provided with refreshing drinks, and most excellent beds. And the three of them liked this very much, so they did. But when the time came to sleep, she told them that each champion had to take his turn on the night watch, seeing Cuchulain was away and all. And moreover, says she, yous must take your turn watching according to seniority. Now, wherever on this earth Cuchulain happened to be, each night he would chant a spell over the ring fort, till the Rath revolved as swiftly as a millstone. So after sunset, you would never have found the entrance to the place. The first night, Lebor the Triumphant took the sentry duty, seeing that he was the eldest of the three champions. As he kept watch into the latter part of the night, he saw a Scath, an otherworld giant, approaching westward from the sea. The giant was huge and disfigured and horrible. He was as high as the sky, and the sheen of the sea was visible between his legs. His hands were full of wooden stakes, made from the trunks of oak trees. Every one of these posts would be a burden for a wagon team of 6. He threw one of these stakes at Lebor, who dodged the oak and let it pass. 2 or 3 times he repeated this, but the stakes of oak touched neither the skin nor the shield of Lebor. But when Lebor hurled a spear at him, he did not strike the giant either. Then the giant stretched out his hand towards Lebor and grabbed him. Such was the length of his arm that it reached across the 3 earthen ridges that encircled the stronghold. Though Lebor was big and imposing, he fitted like a year-old child into the clutch of his opponent. The giant then spun him round within his grasp, like a playing piece from a fiddle board is turned on a lathe. In that state, half dead, the giant flung Lebor out of the ring fort, till he fell into the muck of the ditch at the fortress gates. But as the Rath had no opening there, the other men of the stronghold thought Lebor had leaped outside as a challenge for the other champions to do the same. That was that until the next day's end, when the next night watch began and Conall went out on sentry, for he was older than Cuchulain. and everything occurred exactly as it did to Loyer on the first night. Then on the third night, Cuchulain went on sentry, and stood in the place of watch. That night, the 3 grey imps of Sesint, and the 3 ox-eaters of Brega, and the 3 sons of Dunmar, the Siren, met by a previous arrangement to attack and plunder the stronghold. But this was also the night that was foretold, that the spirit of the loch by the Rath was going to destroy the whole host of them inside, both man and beast. On that night, Cuchulain had many uneasy forebodings. Then, when midnight was come, he heard a great noise drawing close. "Hello! Hello!" Cuchulain shouted. "Who is there? If friends, don't bother to stir yourselves. If foes, you'd better flee." In reply, they raised a terrific shout at him. Cuchulain sprang up upon them at once, and the 9 of them fell dead. He heaped their heads in bloody disorder near the watch station and resumed his sentry. Then another 9 shouted at him in the like manner, and he killed the 3 9s, making 1 cairn of their heads. Oh, and all their bits and pieces. And Cuchulain stayed there far into the night, getting tired, low and weary, till suddenly he heard the rising of the loch like the booming of a great and heavy sea. No matter how deep his misery, Cuchulain had to see what was causing the great noise. But when he looked, he saw the monster rising from the loch. It loomed high and curved as it raised itself into the air. Then it sprung towards the stronghold. It gaped its mouth so a hole would fill its gullet. Then Cuchulain performed the feat of swooping. He sprang high and swift, falling like the sweep of a winnowing sieve around the monster. He wrapped his arms around its neck and stretched his hand to reach inside its gullet. He tore out the monster's heart and cast it on the ground. Then the beast fell from the air, hitting the earth with a blow on its shoulder. Cuchulain tore into it with his sword. He hacked it into smithereens, and took the head with him into the watch place, and stuck it on top of the other heap of skulls. But Cuchulain had to stay there, still glum and miserable, till near the morning dawn, when he saw the giant approaching him, westwards from the sea. "Bad night," says the giant. "Aye, but it'll be worse for you, you clardy article," says Cuchulain. Then the giant hurled one of his oak branches at Cuchulain, but he dodged it and let it pass. 2 or 3 more times the giant hurled his missiles, but they reached neither the skin nor the shield of Cuchulain. Then Cuchulain hurled his spear at the giant, but it did not reach its target. Then the giant stretched out his hand towards Cuchulain to grip him, as he had done the others. Cuchulain leapt the great salmon leap of the hero. In mid-air he performed the feat of swooping, diving and falling like the spiralling bird of prey. With his sword drawn, he passed right over the monster's head. He was swift as a hare, and pivoting around the monster, he spun his weapon like a water wheel. Confused and giddy, the giant cried out. "A life for a life! Spare me!" says the giant. "Grant me my triad of wishes," says Cuchulain. "Given in a breath," says the giant. "The 3 wishes are yours. You are the greatest of the heroes in Erin. Yours, without dispute, is the champion's portion of Ulster. Your wife has precedence over all the ladies of Ulster, and these shall be yours forever." Then the giant vanished from view, and Cuchulain had no idea where he went. Then the hero started to think on the leap the other champions had taken clean out of the stronghold. For their leap from the wall had been big and broad and high, and Cuchulain reckoned that they had done this to show their strength, skill and daring. So he had better do the same. Twice he tried the same leap, and failed every time. "Ack," says Cuchulain, "my efforts to claim the champion's title have left me exhausted. Now I will lose the claim, because I cannot take the leap that them others took." And as Cuchulain tried to make the great leap, he performed the following feats. Springing backwards in mid-air, a spear-shot distance from the Rath, he would rebound till his forehead near touched the fort. He would spring so high in the air that all within the stronghold was visible to him, and when he landed he would sink up to his knees in the earth. Such was the strength and violence of his fall. But another time he landed so lightly that not even the dew fell from the tip of the grass. Such was the heroic valour of Cuchulain, but he still couldn't make the leap the others took. Then a fury started to rage within him, and he leapt over the outer rampart and landed in the royal entrance at the great hall. There he left 2 deep footprints where his feet hit the stone. Cuchulain entered the hall, and he heaved a heavy sigh. Men's daughter, Blathna, wife of Roí, spoke up. "Do not give the sigh of the defeated and dishonoured. Give the call of triumph." For Blathna knew full well what evils Cuchulain had fought off that night. Then all beheld Roí coming towards him. And boys a dear, wasn't he carrying the banners of the 3 nines slain by Cuchulain? And he brought their severed heads. On the croon of the monster, he heaped the heads onto the floor and spoke. "The champion who got these trophies in one night's service is fit to watch a royal wrath. Listen to me, you fellas. The champion's portion for which yous are still squabbling truly belongs to Cuchulain. He is the most courageous of yous all, and none can match his trophies." And he pointed at the pile of severed heads on the floor. Curu's verdict upon them was thus. The champion's portion to Cuchulain, a sovereign valour over all the Gaels, his wife foremost in the royal hall before all the ladies of Ulster. And he gave 7 cumals of gold and silver to Cuchulain in reward for this one night's performance. So he did.